Hello my friends, it's Ebird Online, and today I have for you what I think is going to be, pretty much the weirdest combination, the strangest couple 90 Day Fiance has ever known. And guys, you know I can't possibly be making that claim lightly. So who is this couple? Well, it's none other than Misha and Nicola. And guys, I've got to tell you, my corn is popped and ready for this one. Now, I have so many questions about this relationship, but the main one is, how quickly will it F up? At this point, as far as I can see, Misha and Riley are going head to head for the Idiot of the Year award. Never have I seen a more ridiculously mismatched couple grace my screen. And let's not forget, we're living through the era of Bill Murray and Khalees. So guys, let's get into this, but just before I do, please, if you've yet to do so, consider subscribing. Smash it, press it, hit it, caress it. Subscribe, my friends, subscribe. Press that red button and join the Ebird family. And a massive thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. I genuinely appreciate it. And also don't forget to hit that like button. And if you know of anybody else who would enjoy my videos, please don't forget to share. Thanks guys. Right, so without further ado, I give you Misha and Nicola. Right, so as I say, this relationship's set to go very, very wrong very, very soon. And guys, if it doesn't, well, I guess I'll pretend to be very humbled by it all. I won't be, but I'll pretend. But I've got every reason to believe I won't be wrong. Let's meet Misha.
For many years, I worked as an on-air journalist. And in many ways, I lived a very glamorous life.
Guys, Misha was a newsreader. She lived such a glamorous life, she can't help but tell us all about it. She lets us know she married a high school sweetheart, had a couple of kids, but the marriage didn't last and they divorced. And then the good times began to roll.
After my divorce, I had a full social life. I was the fun party girl at the bar and going out all the time. I had a lot of friends, and it was a blast.
And she lets us know she went on loads of amazing dates and met the most amazing guys and had brilliant life experiences. Guys, it was wall-to-wall excitement. And these successful guys she dated well. They would wine and dine her. One of them even rented a helicopter so he could impress her. So she's used to the finer things in life. Guys, when she's reminiscing about her past life, she says things such as, really, really cool. An awful lot. And another favourite, my life was a blast. But then one day, something unbelievable happened. She had a premonition, and said premonition led her to reading the Bible. And guys, she decided to join the Roman Catholic faith. And she swapped blowouts and Botox for the Bible. Guys, it's what I did. And soon after, she decided to change careers. And now, well, listen for yourself.
I work full-time for the Catholic Church as the Director of Pastoral Care, helping people connect with God in their final moments.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And as you can imagine, life changed for Misha drastically. One by one, all her friends fell away. And she said things got real lonely real quick. But that was to be short-lived, because she went online and she met the love of her life, Nicola.
My name is Nicola and I am 46 years old. I live with my mom. We live in Israel in a city called Nahariya.
Guys, there's just one other thing he's forgotten to tell us. Yes, that's right, before lies you the inspiration of the 40-year-old virgin. Nicola lets us know that it's traditional for children to live with their parents until they get married. Oh dear, unlucky for you, Mum. Nicola tells us a bit about his life and he says he leads a simple life. I bet he does. And he's devoted himself to the Catholic Church, not because of his parents, oh no, because of his grandmother, who was a devout Roman Catholic. So what does Nicola do for a living? Well, it turns out he runs his own website.
This is my website. It's a traditional Catholic novenas, traditional prayers in the Catholic Church that last for 9 days. I have almost 500,000 visitors in this website per month.
Wow, 500,000 visitors in the past few months. Label me surprised. It seems as if his website's doing quite well, but unfortunately Nicola's love life is a different story. Poor Nicola lets us know that the reason he's never dated is because there's only 2% Catholics in Israel, and therefore it makes it very difficult, so he doesn't even bother trying to date. He just prays to God, and he said God will find him the right person at the right time, and then, hey presto, up pops Misha. And so the couple started texting back and forth. And to start off with, it was mainly just about God. Misha thinks it was divine intervention and that God was at play in bringing the couple together. Well then Misha, he'll also be at play when he rips you two apart. And And then Misha said, after a few months and with Nicola's support, he convinced me to drop my career in TV and devote myself fully to God. What? I thought you decided that on your own. What do you mean with Nicola's support? Oh Lord, I hope we haven't got a manipulative one here. I looked at Nicola and thought, well, he seems harmless enough. But guys, I've got to tell you, I didn't like the sound of that at all. So the two continued to exchange messages for years and years. And then finally, they admitted they had feelings for each other. But then God sent COVID, or, well, somebody did. And that put things on hold, and all in all, they've been talking for 7 years, and they're finally about to meet. Misha in a couple of weeks is going to Israel, and she says if everything goes well, she and Nicola will get married. So as you can imagine, her friends and family are not particularly impressed about this, and they're all quite worried. And so Misha goes out to meet her sister to talk the situation over.
So you're not worried that he's a virgin? Intimacy isn't everything, but it is a big part of a relationship and certainly a marriage. I know.
Yeah, I know. She certainly does know. And so Misha finally says, well, because there's no sex before marriage, I just have to see how he is with affection, just basic affection, and I need a lot of affection. Oh, Misha, my love, he's probably not going to be very good if he's a virgin. It's more than likely something you're going to have to work on over time. And given that you're only going for 2 weeks, I don't fancy your chances. Anyway, enough about these insurmountable hurdles. Let's look at a different, fresh problem. Why? There's plenty to choose from. What does your sister think to your new partner?
She went through this spiritual awakening, as she likes to call it. And now she wants to get engaged to this extremely devout, conservative Catholic man. There was a few times where we talked to Nicola on FaceTime, and he seems nice. I know they're both Catholic, but they're just so different. It's hard to understand what she sees in him.
Guys, her sister looks as if someone's just stuck their finger in bird muck and rubbed it across her top lip. She doesn't seem to like Nicola at all, and also it didn't escape my notice. She went through a spiritual awakening, as she calls it. Guys, I don't think her family are taking this new religion and new relationship very seriously at all. And guys, the next statement from Misha let me know everything I need to know about her stunning lack of judgment and really her lack of logic. What kind of journalist was she? Don't tell me she ran a gossip column. But her sister said to her, 2 weeks is never going to be enough to decide whether or not you want to marry this guy. So why don't you wait and have him come over here and have him meet the kids and the family and then decide? And so Misha said, there's really no point. It doesn't matter how many times I go over to see him. There's always going to be something or one little part of him that I'm not quite sure about, so it doesn't make any difference. Yes, it does, Misha, you dimwit. You can either be 95% sure or you can be 10% sure. After 2 weeks, it's likely to be 10. If you see him multiple times and invite him over to America and to see your life and to meet your children, you might be, well, I guess you're never going to be 95% sure, but you might be a lot more sure. Saying there's no difference between the two is complete idiocy. She really has climbed aboard the batshit crazy train to what the fuck is going on land. I wouldn't be so incensed, but she's got 2 young teenage daughters. And then she said, all I can do is follow my heart. God gave us a brain and a heart so that we can use both, Misha. Please do so. But she continues to defy me. And she said, because we're both practicing Catholics, divorce is not an option. So I'm really hoping everything works out well. That's interesting. Divorce isn't an option, but wait, Misha, you're divorced. Guys, we'll come to that later. We're going to have a bit of, what do the financial guys call it? That's it, creative accounting. We're going to have a bit of creative accounting coming up soon. So next time we go to see Nicola, he decides to go fishing with his friend Wasim. And Nicola and Wasim talk a bit about Misha and their relationship. And Nicola lets Wasim know that Misha gets so angry when he's out fishing all day and doesn't answer any of her calls or her texts. And Wasim tells him, she's angry? Well, that means she loves you. Oh dear, we haven't just got one bozo who knows nothing about relationships. It seems that we've got 2 of them. And then Wasim tells production He's not sure what's going to happen when Misha comes over because, well, Nicola's a bit of a loner, a bit of a weirdo, and that he considers Misha's very beautiful and way out of his league. But wait, Wasim hasn't finished yet. He tells us he has no job, no money, he sits in his bedroom all day, and he's totally broke. What? I thought he had this website. Is that not his job? Guys, when I went back and had another look, I see he just does it for, I don't know, fun, I guess. I just naturally assumed people either paid a subscription or he sold advertising space on the site. And in fact, with 500,000 visitors, I don't know why he doesn't. So not to put too fine a point on it, Wasim doesn't think this relationship's going very far, and then he finds out some more information. She's a divorcee, and he said there's no way that his family will accept a divorcee. The divorcee and the virgin, why wouldn't it work?
So I'm still a virgin and I will never sleep with women until I get married. So no matter if I am 18 or 46 or 65, I have to be virgin and celibate until I get married to the right woman.
Right, so what about Misha then? And Nicola explains that even though Misha's not a virgin, in fact she's got 2 kids, and she's a divorcee, it doesn't really matter because according to the Roman Catholic Church, that once Jesus comes to your life, everything you did in the past doesn't matter anymore. You're born again, you're a new person. And you know what? I've heard that before. Half the people from Sing Sing Correctional Facility think the same. Never mind about that murder. I found the Lord. But Wasim wants to drive the point home, and he says, your mum wants you to bring home a virgin who can provide you with kids. Oh, decisions. Who to listen to? Mum, God, Mum, God. God it is.
Family is very important here, and I'm a little bit concerned that my mom will not accept Misha because who she is. بس أنا ولا اخترت هذا الشيء. الله مخطط إنه أنا وميشا نتعرف على بعض. الله هو اللي بيدبر كل شيء.
So apparently God's planning everything out. Well, we'll see. And so the final time we see this couple, they're FaceTiming together, and that's when Misha lets us know of her dastardly plan to turn back the hands of time.
Even though I have been legally divorced for over a decade, in the eyes of God, I am still not allowed to remarry unless I am granted an annulment. In order to get an annulment, there is special criteria that the church looks at to make sure that first marriage was not a valid marriage.
Yes, that's right. Misha's going to attempt to get her first marriage annulled. Notwithstanding the fact she was married for many years. She entered the marriage willingly. She had 2 kids from the marriage, and she was subsequently granted a divorce, something which can only be granted if you are indeed married. She now seeks an annulment, so that in the eyes of God and Nicola's mum, she's no longer a divorcee. Are you kidding me? I just wonder what Misha's going to do with regard to her virginity. Perhaps she's going to have somebody come along and stitch back up her hymen. Oh, God. And guys, I cannot believe with a straight face, Misha's trying to get us all to believe that she won't be a divorcee. I don't care who says what. You were married and now you're not, so you're divorced. Just deal with it. And then Nicola and Misha both agree that if they can't get married in church, not just a civil marriage, that they basically can't be together because they'd be living in sin in the eyes of the church. And guys, before next week, I'm going to take some time out and have a look into what the parameters are for this annulment. I know what they are in the eyes of the English law, but I'm not sure how the Roman Catholic Church looks at these things and what are their criteria. And given that Misha's seen fit not to tell us, more than likely because she knows good and well she doesn't meet it, I'm going to have to do a bit of research, I guess. And then a final dose of negativity for this relationship for this week. And we meet Misha's 2 daughters. They're 17 and 19. I thought they were younger than that. But anyway, they're kind of not that happy with this relationship. They don't feel as if they know him. They think he's nice enough. But they tell their mum it would be super weird if he comes to live in our house with us and gets married to you and we don't even know him.
Every time I've talked to him, it's been pretty awkward. He's always praying for us. He's always, telling us about God. And that's pretty much all we talk about. So I don't feel like we've really gotten to know him.
Oh dear, au contraire, you have gotten to know him. That's what he's about. God and the Roman Catholic Church. And even though Misha said, I have to have my daughter's blessing before I marry him, they're pretty much telling you with this that you don't have their blessing. And she just sits on the sofa, nodding, but not really answering their questions. And then they go on to ask, if we decide to get boyfriends, is it going to be a problem for him? Is he going to preach to us? And Misha said, I'd love to be able to say everything's not going to turn into a sermon, but I can't because I just don't know. Well, I suggest, Misha, until you do know, you don't get married to him. If I were those daughters, I'd be putting a few frantic calls in to the Roman Catholic Church's annulment department. I've got some information on a case that you're dealing with. But thankfully, she does finish up by saying that while she loves Nicola, her first love and her main love is for her daughters. And he's going to have to accept whatever it is they do. And guys, with that, I hope she's true to her word. So that's where we end things for this week, guys. I cannot wait to find out what happens with this relationship. I mean, I kind of know, but I can't wait to find out how it happens. It's all good and well Misha talking to Nicola online, but to me, in the flesh, he looks like he's going through the awkward phase of an awkward phase. I can't see him being at ease with Misha or in her house. I can't see it. And Misha said, I've never met a guy like this in my whole life. Luckily, neither have we. But I really don't know if it's love. In fact, I don't think that it is. Grinding somebody down into accepting something through repeated exposure isn't quite the same as falling in love. That's how I see it. For whatever reason, I think Misha was rudderless. And Nicola came along in his, well, I was going to say yacht, but rubber dinghy at the right time. And she sees it as a divine intervention, where I see it more as just, well, the algorithm. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think. I'm sure you've got loads of views on this, but I specifically want to know what you think to her decision to try and get an annulment. What do you think the problems are going to be, considering that Nicola is a virgin? And then finally, how do you think he's going to relate to the daughters? Do you think he's going to preach to them? I certainly do. So yes, please put your comments down below. I'll answer as many of them as I can. Just before I go, please don't forget to like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And also, please don't forget to share the video. Thank you guys so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.